Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. Dear faithful in Holy Trinity, through the door of this Sunday, we are entering into the 3rd week of Lent, and the liturgy of today invites us to go deep within ourselves and to introspect our spiritual and social life in relation with God and the other. The first reading taken from the book of Exodus, we hear God is giving 10 commandments through Moses. It could be called as a way to walk on and to perfect our life. In the second reading, St. Paul is writing to the Corinthians, we proclaim Christ crucified, a stumbling block to the Jews and a foolishness to the Greeks. Foolishness of God is wiser than the wisdom of men, and weakness of God is stronger than the strength of men. And in the Gospel, we have a surprising scene to look at. The most loving, the most caring, the most compassionate Master is seen angry in the temple. But there are reasons behind it. If you read Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 16, it says, every Jewish man had to go to holy city to attend 3 annual feasts, the feast of Passover, the feast of weeks, and the feast of tabernacles. And in today's gospel we hear Jesus going up to the holy city to celebrate the feast. But when he went into the temple, he was surprised, he was perplexed at the scene. And what follows is more surprising. He is shown angry and he is cleansing the temple. The zeal for the temple is remembered by the apostles later on. But there are 3 reasons could be said for his anger. First and foremost, every Jewish man who came to the temple to worship God had to offer something, or they had to do some sacrifice. But the Jewish people had scattered all over, and when they came to the holy city, they had to exchange their money into the currency of the local place. In the beginning, it was convenient for the foreigners to do this, but as the time passed, the convenience became mere business. Secondly, more was extracted from what was expected. The simple, the poor were looted and they were taken more and given less. And the third reason could be where these things were happening, it was a court of the Gentiles, where Jews supposed to meet the Gentiles and should be telling them about one true God. But by looking at the happenings, the truth was likely to be seen. And at this moment, Jesus cleanses the temple. And looking at this act, the authority rightly begin to ask Jesus, by what authority are you doing this? And Jesus said, destroy this temple and in 3 days I will raise it up. The spiritual truth was conveyed by the physical term because Jesus meant of his death and resurrection. What do we learn for ourselves from this Sunday's liturgy? The first point could be stand for the truth. The truth must prevail. While standing for the truth may bring pain, may bring suffering, but the victory will be of truth. The commandments which are given as the way to perfect our life, to beautify our life, must help us to build our life, our relation with God and the others. Thirdly, worship without reverence is a terrible thing. Worship that doesn't realize the holiness of God, is it a worship? Is my religious practice is a mere obligation, or is it raising my body, my spirit, my soul in devotion, in loving relation with God? Lent is a time in which we are given the different signposts. We have to see them and walk in those directions. As we reflect today on all these things to beautify our life, to walk in these particular directions, may we become the temples of the Holy Spirit. May we proclaim the Christ crucified, and may we become more and more devout in relation with God and with my brothers and sisters. May God be praised now and forever and always.